In this video, I'm going to show you how to get more high-quality patients each month with a system that starts growing your patient acquisition in as little as 90 days. But first, my name is David Jackson. I've been in marketing for 10 years, helping hundreds of businesses rank higher, convert better, and generate millions of dollars in additional revenue by becoming more visible online. However, let me say, dental marketing is deceptively tough. Every dentist in your zip code likely has a website, they're running ads, and the top 3 of the Google Map Pack are scooping up 70% of new patient clicks. However, we've managed to navigate this market really well, from helping a pediatric practice go from 1 to 6 locations in just 3 years, and even drive over 250 new patients for a general practice. These results only happen because they were able to implement this exact system that I'm going to show you in this video. First, let's address the elephant in the room. You've probably already spent a lot of time and money on a new website, ads, etc. Maybe some of it worked, maybe none of it worked. The problem with all of that time and money you've spent: inconsistent results, low quality leads, and a growing sense that something just isn't working. This leads to you babysitting your marketing and taking even more time away from running your practice, focusing on patient care, and building your systems. Ultimately, this leads to a burnout. And when that happens, both your growth and your patient experience will suffer. Here's the truth though. Dental marketing works. It's just very competitive and unforgiving. You can't afford to half do it or rely on old tactics that haven't worked since 2021. Dental marketing is all about optimizing for the patient journey and experience. Today's patient chooses a dentist much differently than they did even 4 years ago. And that's why we created the Digital Patient Journey Map. It's not just a collection of tactics. It's a strategic system that mirrors the exact steps that today's patient takes before they choose their next dentist. I'm going to give you the full rundown on how the top practices are not only using this approach to scale their patient acquisition, but become the go-to choice in their market. Before we dive into the 5 steps, I just want to talk about one thing that is extremely important for making all of this actually work, and that's your patient experience. Your patient experience is critical. If this isn't dialed in, everything else falls apart. What I'm talking about with your patient experience is how you differentiate yourself from the dentist down the street and the dentist on the other side of town. How do patients feel before, during, and after their visit with your practice? You really want to define this because everything is centered around your patient experience. So awareness is the stage that a person will be in when they have a current or future need for dental services. You want to get in front of people that have both a need now and a need in the future. Most important platform out of all of these is your Google Business Profile. That is where over 50% of your new patients will come from. The reason for this is because Google Business Profile gives a patient everything that they want to see. What are their reviews? What are their pictures? How can I contact them? What are the directions? It gives them everything. Next up is your local SEO. Social media is great. You can run social media ads and somebody can find you on social media. Social media doesn't have the same intent as Google, where someone is ready to take action and find a dental practice. But social media is still great in that it does make impressions on people that could be your future patients. So you definitely want to be running it. Digital advertising just helps you stay competitive. It puts you right at the top of Google, and it ensures patients that are in market do see you. And then other influential mentions, press releases, directories, magazines. Those are good to have too. They're not as important as the other items above it, but it's still good to have. So just to recap, Google Business Profile, local SEO, digital ads, those cater to people who are ready to buy very soon. And then the other 2, social media, influential mentions, they are more so for someone who has a future need. If you don't optimize these things correctly, you just don't show up. Someone could be typing in dentist near me and you're nowhere to be found. So the other important thing about awareness is when a patient is in this phase, they're going to be doing a lot of comparisons. They're going to look at you, they're going to look at the guy down the street, they're going to look at the dental practice across town because they're looking to compare and see what the best choice is for them. This is where all of that starts, in this awareness phase and on these platforms. Let's talk about what happens after you have your awareness optimized, and that is people start to do research. So They've opened you up and they've opened up 2 other practices. What's going to make them choose you over them? It could be your reviews. It could be some of the pictures you've uploaded to your Google Business profile. But your website is going to take it from there and do the heavy lifting now. So when it comes to your website, they're going to be checking you out. They're going to check out the quality of your website. They're going to check out the visuals. They're going to check out your content. And then they will go back to look at your social media. When they want to look into the culture, the team, just how you present yourself behind the scenes, that's where they're going to social media. There are a lot of patients you can get from having a well-run social media that just gives people a glimpse into your personality. As you know, nobody wants to go to the dentist. People are scared, they might get uncomfortable. There's just a lot of reasons why people don't want to go. So reduce that anxiety as much as you can. Google Business Profile, ads, social media, all of those platforms will get someone in the door. But when they're doing additional research, you have to bring that anxiety down by showcasing your experience. So it's all connected here. The patient has chosen you. Congratulations. Now we're actually talking about getting those patients onto your calendar in as smooth of a way as possible. What we're talking about here is having a very clear call to action, making sure that you have online bookings and appointments. They shouldn't have to call to get on your calendar. Now that they've booked, to try and prevent that no-show from happening, there should be follow-ups. There should be reminders that are sending out to them automatically. You want pre-appointment instructions. So this is just going to help them prepare. This is also going to show them that you're professional and that you all are experts. The booking process is extremely important to have in your practice so that you're building the right expectation for that patient. But that's really what the first 3 steps on the patient journey are. You're building a strong expectation, and you should be in control of that entire experience from the moment patients become aware of your practice. Next up, let's talk about retention. What's going to actually get the patient to want to stay with you as a practice? You have to actually meet or exceed that expectation that you set using your digital assets. You need to get their review and make sure it goes to Google or another very high authority site. You need to send personalized follow-ups after the appointment. You need to recall and reactivate that patient down the road. You need to make sure this is automatically sending to them. You can use newsletters, things like blog content, to just make sure that you're continuing to make an impression on those patients. All these things are going to help you retain those patients and get them to stick with you. Now, let's get into one of the most important parts of the journey. What's going to make a patient actually refer you to everyone that they know? In order to do that, you want to make sure that you're turning as many patients as possible into what we call the hero patient. The hero patient is someone who goes through this entire journey, does the work, has an awesome experience, and wants to tell everyone else about it and feel like the hero for doing so. The hero patient journey is really not different than what another patient would go through, but if you're consistent, you're going to turn some percentage of your regular patients into those hero patients. A hero patient is going to start searching for multiple practices. They're going to compare them. They're going to narrow them down. They're going to make a decision and form an expectation based on that decision that they made. What you have to do from there is surpass that expectation, and then they were right. They were actually correct in their assumption about your practice. They're going to feel great for doing that, and they're going to want to share that experience with other people. And we all know that referrals are the lifeblood of a growing and thriving dental practice. Your marketing should be focused on promoting your experience, optimizing for the patient journey, and creating as many hero patients as you possibly can consistently. Creating hero patients is how you build momentum and unlock compounding growth that you can actually scale and control. For Sweet Tooth Pediatric Dentistry, over the last 4 years, we've worked with this practice and we have made them the #1 pediatric dentistry in Overland Park and possibly the entire metro of Kansas City. They absolutely dominate. They have a 7th location that's opening up here in another month, and they rank on the first page and at the top of Google Maps for a number of keywords. Another one is Mint Dental. Mint Dental is a brand that's just under 3 years old. They already have 4 locations, and back in February, they were able to get 306 new patients just that month alone, and each one of their practices is seeing very steady and consistent growth. This isn't just tossing up ads, tweaking metadata, or posting blogs. This approach engineers the entire patient journey from the first search to the 10th visit. And this is a system that you actually own within your practice. You're not renting it from us, you're not paying us per patient or any of that stuff. This is something that we want to implement into your practice and watch you thrive and grow within your community. I can show you what all of this looks like. We're offering a free visibility assessment to qualified dental practices. What we do is review your current online presence, identify your biggest gaps, and map out what it would take to make you the go-to practice in your area. So really, there's just one catch here. We don't work with competing practices in the same city. This means that if your competitor signs on before you do, our services won't be available to you. We take exclusivity very seriously to protect our clients and ensure they dominate their area without competing with ourselves. So if you're tired of those long nights staying up trying to figure out digital marketing on your own, and you're ready to save valuable time and money by implementing a system that actually works today, click below to book your free visibility assessment so that you can get a clear plan for how to take back control of your marketing and build a practice that attracts and retains patients like clockwork. I'm looking forward to speaking with you soon. We'll see you there.